chapter 843 is an absolute mess, and I don't know what to make of it. Hello Kingdom fans, welcome back to the channel. I decided to delay us talking about chapter 843 because I couldn't find any good translation of it, so I decided instead to go about it as I usually do and throw in an extra bit listing everything wrong in this chapter. And I actually found 10 things, but there's more like 20. But these are the 10 most noticeable. Now, starting off, we do see that Princess Nei is referred to as Princess Ning, which makes no sense. We see a huge error in what could have been a very important line, where To says, "There's no way this rise will let that happen." I have to assume he means he won't let it happen. I can't imagine how they got rise in that. Number 3, Nanyo is repeatedly called Nanyang. Kanyo, the capital of Qin, is called two different names, Hanyang and Xinyang. Again, multiple times, but as you may know, Xinyang is the Chinese name of Kanyo, but we don't use that in the manga. Though I do wonder what they will call it in the official release when it starts coming out later this year. Number 5, the Han capital Shinte is called Xinjiang or Xinjiang or something like that. 6, which is really the best, is how they call the Han royal family the Korean royal family. And I don't know how they got that. Like, really, it just makes no sense to me at all. But thankfully, this isn't the only mention of Koreans in this very poorly done translation. Number 7, there are multiple lines missing throughout the whole chapter, so it just makes a really rough translation and separate parts hard to understand. 8, Rishi, who in this is called Li Shi, which is his Chinese name, talks about his fallen friend Kanpishi of Han, who is called in this chapter Han Fei Zi, which, for those who didn't know, myself included, I had to look it up, was the person that Kanpishi was based on. You come to Rishi calling the rule of law, but it's translated as the law of medicine. They want to bring a nation under the law of medicine, which I suppose technically is a good thing, but legally that makes absolutely zero sense. So again, I don't know how they got medicine out of that. And Rishi saying, I implore you, my fellow Koreans, which just has me laughing. But I don't know, who is Korean in this? Is it the Chinese? Is it the people of Han? I don't know. Someone might be Korean. We can't say for certain, but I don't think anyone actually is Korean. This is a very messy chapter, and I hope there is a better translation available soon. And so anyway, on to talking about the events in this chapter. There are 5 things worthy of being talked about. The first of which is, of course, seeing the miracle of To and his superhero-like jump. We see he jumped, landed, and stood up in the blink of an eye like nothing happened. And according to To, it's all because it's just the power of the 6 greats, which he may just be saying to mess with Rukiyomi, which I kind of hope he is, but at the same time, To is Captain Qin, which I know is an awful name, but the dude is superhuman. I don't care what you say. Him and Captain America, they're basically twins, except To has better hair. Let's be real. Now, the second thing is that we now know the future of Han, and we know the future of the royal family. We know that Rishi has come to take command of the Han territories and oversee the transition of power, land, and whatever else may be needed. I imagine in reality there will be a list a mile long of things to do on just the first day. Nonetheless, Rishi is committed to seeing his and Kanpishi's dream of a state ruled by law come true, and sees this as his first step in doing so. Now, there is of course the future of the Han royal family, and even though there was a deliberation in the king courts about this, thanks to Sei's input, it was decided they will be allowed to live. Obviously, they will lose their right to the throne, but will be allowed to maintain their nobility. And of course, like I said in an earlier video, this is done for 2 reasons. 1, to ease the transition of power for the people so the people don't live in fear, and 2, as also mentioned in this chapter, it's so the royal family and the high nobles in the court and whatever else you might want to call them may not choose to fight to the very last man to save, their country, their castle, whatever you want to call it. If they get shown that they will still live after this, that they may surrender sooner, saving so much more lives, hassle, resources, whatever way you want to look at it. Though personally, I can't see the King of Zhao, whatever his name is, I can't remember, surrendering at all. He will happily order everyone to die for him. But this is a topic for a different day. Let's move on. The fourth thing which I want to talk about may have been translated incorrectly, but it needs to be said all the same. We see that Han refugees are leaving the territory formerly known as Han, especially around the border areas, and it says that they were fleeing from the horrors of Qin. And that's what really got my attention, the word horrors. Yes, the Qin army and Tow are absolutely horrifying, there's no denying that, but at the same time, they're good people and they were merciful at every single opportunity to the people of Han, and they never once treated them badly. Now, this leaves me with only two things to think. You have to presume that these people that are fleeing, the refugees, were either given misinformation, or perhaps they had heard that Rukiyomi completely wiped out the rebel force led by Rako Akan, which I am still very pissed off about, but let's not get into that, because if we do, this video may never end. Now, this comes to the final, fifth, and possibly the best thing in this chapter, the cliffhanger, where while Shohai Kun is congratulating Tow on an overwhelming success to the plan to conquer Han, Tow stops him to say before they proceed any further, they should gather the top commanders, including Shin, for an announcement that he has to make. Now, this could literally be anything, knowing Tow, because despite us recently learning so much more about him, we still can't really understand what he thinks and how far ahead he thinks. We don't know if his decision is military or emotional or anything like that, but with Tow, we know it's important. The man thinks everything true. I mean, like when I first read this, the first thing that came to my mind was, could he be saying he is possibly retiring after doing something his master and mentor, the great Wookiee, could not? And in case you don't know what I'm talking about, it's conquering a kingdom with what is essentially the same army if you take out Shin. I mean, it's the exact same commanders, same veterans, so there's that. Is he going to say, I don't know, is he going to propose to Princess Ney, marry her to make a stronger bond between the people of the new territory of Qin? It's possible, I can see it. We all know that Tow is head over heels in love with Princess Ney, and if he's not, he's very convincing of it. Or perhaps is he saying he wishes to stay in Han, aka close to Princess Ney, his true love, under the guise of watching the new Wei and Chu border. Right now, it is tough to say, but at the same time, we can presume it's going to be along those lines. If it's not, I will be very much surprised. And to be honest, I could list probably a dozen more off the top of my head, and I would love to hear your guys' opinions on it. Though, due to me delaying the making of this video, I assume we will know within the next 2 to 3 days of this video being released on what Tow is actually saying. And so, Kingdom fans, I hope you enjoyed another episode of All About Kingdom. Please remember to hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button while you're down there. It really does help the channel and I appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one.